Hi, it's me, and that's him.
And we're talking Cloverfield. As always, to stay spoiler-free, click here. Or in the description below. Whichever floats your boat.
We decided to review Cloverfield in anticipation for 10 Cloverfield Lane, the latest from JJ Abrams.
We don't know much about 10 Cloverfield Lane, except it's somehow connected to Cloverfield, and that's why we did it.
Yeah, much like the original monster from Cloverfield. Hey, surprise! There's a monster.
And then doesn't tell you anything about it.
Except it's massive.
Except that makes sense in the context of the movie, because we're seeing this from the point of view of the people that are in it.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if 10 Cloverfield Lane answers some of the questions that were raised by Cloverfield. For example, where the monster came from, what caused it, did all of the main characters actually die?
One thing that we kept paying out while we watched it the other night was the fact that...
She was in stilettos.
And she just... Yeah. And she didn't try to find any other shoes at any point. She just kept running in it. And then we're like, well, maybe she finds them comfortable. And then the next scene, she's walking upstairs with them in her hand.
Yeah. And then she's like, been through a department store, been to like an army staging point, and they kind of like, oh, it's civilians. They'll be fine. Don't let them do anything. Then they let them go do their own thing without giving them any equipment at all. Not even new shoes. No new shoes. Stilettos. But yeah, so until she was climbing the stairs in a skyscraper, she decided that heels were the way to run around a city. I thought it was interesting that he was meant to be going to Japan, and then the giant monster rocks up and destroys the city. Godzilla, anyone?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I actually thoroughly enjoy this movie, though. It's actually been a movie that I really enjoyed previously, obviously, because I've seen it before. Found footage can be quite annoying to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
I think when this came out, there wasn't heaps of it out there, so I found it quite almost refreshing in a way, because it was done so differently.
Yep. Compared
to what I had seen. And I like the whole mystery air around the monster going on thingy. And the visual effects were actually really brilliant.
Yeah. And it even ties back into the movie we did last week. Same actor.
Yes. You don't see much of him, though. In either movie.
Even more continuity.
We're obviously, of course, talking about TJ Miller.
Yeah.
He's the one that holds the camera all through Cloverfield.
Because he gets conned into it by someone saying, here, do my job for you.
Yeah.
A little bit of Tom Sawyer, I think it is.
I didn't mind that. I really liked the interactions. They felt really real between people. It actually felt like you were watching that interaction a little bit, rather than actually reading a script or spouting off lines that they obviously...
Yeah, and you could kind of feel the whole, like, I really don't want to be filming this myself. Oh, wait. Oh, it's my brother's best friend. I'll con him into doing it. Totally worked. Because got asked by his girlfriend to film it, but doesn't want to, so he finds a creative way out of...
Yes. The one little frustrating thing is, a lot of the time is, obviously because of budget constraints, they couldn't just always be showing the visual effects side of things. Like, when they're on top of the roof, when they finally got the girlfriend, Beth, saved her from the skyscraper, and they're going across the roof, and you can see the monster getting bombarded by something, by
I think it's jets.
Yeah, by jets, yeah. I'm sitting there going, there's no way in anyone's right mind, even if they're not a proper cameraman, would be like, oh, I'll flick to him, and then I'll flick to where I'm walking.
The movie cuts between his romantic weekend, the brother going to Japan's romantic weekend with Beth from a month ago, roughly.
Yeah, whatever it was.
To the actual events where the monster comes through. And references this halfway through the movie by saying, you changed the tape, didn't you? And he's like, I got no idea, I just got given the camera. So, yeah, and then...
The only thing that gripes me with that is being a bit of an amateur filmmaker is it doesn't really make any sense that it jumps forward and leaves some of that intact, because unless he's unless he's gone in and fast forwarded the tape, it wouldn't actually jump forward.
Because there was one point where they try and review footage of them seeing the monster, right?
Yeah. And that fast forwarding...
So he'd probably fast forward after that, right?
That makes sense.
But the other ones
And the bit at the very start makes sense as well.
Yeah, the very
because
start and
they
the
may
very...
not have actually rewound it all the way.
And I think there's a tiny bit at the end as well.
That makes sense as well.
And then that once in the middle. But the other ones are a bit iffy as to why that would happen. And the other one they did is they started showing the whole cell phones filming things culture, which is now really big, of people just watching events through their smartphones.
Yes.
In the movie, obviously, it's flip phones and that generation phone.
Yeah,
rather
it's a bit
than,
older.
Because it's the phones that we're at.
Yeah.
It's like, but seeing that in a movie and it's now real life as that's really what happens is also interesting. Like, it was the heritage or the origins of no one living and just filming everything for their phone. But yeah, overall, it's a lot of fun. A lot of questions to be answered, which I guess
kind of makes the movie a little more entertaining because it asks the questions but doesn't throw everything in your face.
Yeah. And then by not answering the questions, you can't claim that there's like plot holes in the answer.
Yeah.
There's a monster. Why?
We didn't tell you. There's a monster. This is what you don't need a reason. We're following these characters. That's our thoughts on the movie. I'm about done.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I guess we'll refer back to it when we do see Cloverfield.
Yes, we will. Which is in Turkish. We will be doing a review of Gods of Egypt,
which we're actually going to be seeing later tonight.
We'll be seeing that in a couple of hours. But it will be out next week
on probably the Saturday Australian time. So most of the people it should be out by the 5th Saturday.
Yeah. And then in 2 weeks, the following week after that, whatever that date is, will be 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
So feel free to comment, like it, subscribe, all that sort of fun stuff.
And if you want a link to that video, click on him to see Gods of Egypt. Obviously, after the 5th, we don't have a review of that yet. And if you want to see us talk for half an hour about Deadpool, click on me. Half an hour. I promise.
It's brilliant.
We have a lot of comments.